2000s hit, Tarantino wanted everyone to kill Bill. Now, this is volume 2. Some say this is better, others say this is sort of a bit of a low thing because the payoff wasn't so great. It's got the 5-point exploding heart trick, which ended up being a name of Five Finger Death Punch. So influential. Of course, in Kill Bill 1, she's wearing the suit which Bruce Lee wore in Enter the Dragon, or Game of Death. But yeah, the Bruce Lee suit, so it's a reference to that. First one's got Lucy Liu as the main villain. It's got the crazy 88 massacre scene. It was so bloody, it had to go black and white. Then there was a flashback sequence which was animated, again because it would have been wrong to film all that in live action. So, both Volume 2 and 1, they're comic book films. They're like a comic book films with the heroine. Uma's great in it. Your Michael Madsen is back. You got Daryl Hannah. And the music's good. You got the 5, 6, 7, 8, really good Japanese blues rock band. So they're in it. And yeah, so Kill Bill, it's got Wiggle Your Big Toe. It's got the scene where the bride's in a coma and she pulls the guy's tongue out. It's just visual. And yeah, this one, it's a good follow-up. You know, and she kills Bill. It's simple, but it's effective. And Tarantino looks down on this movie. I don't know why. It's pure Tarantino. You got feet, you got Big Kahuna, you got Red Apple cigarette references, you got one of the greatest car chases and smash-up scenes, Bullet, Dukes of Hazzard. Like a Dodge Charger versus Dodge Challenger. Black and white, total actions. Stuntman Mike, crazy, deranged slasher villain, essentially. Hunting a bunch of girls down. They turn the tables on him. They kick his ass. They beat him up. You know, some people complain after Stuntman Mike gets shot. He's crying and he's all, why? They feel it was a waste of his character. But, hey, it happens. You can be real tough and then something breaks it down. He broke down because he was death-proof. But the ladies proved they were stronger than that. And it's a great revenge flick. In a sense, it is a slasher film. Tarantino has always wanted to direct one. His favorite is My Bloody Valentine. Quentin, direct My Bloody Valentine 2. You love slashers. This is essentially yours. Again, it's a great car vengeance film inspired by Mad Max. I mean, come on. All the great car chase films inspired this. It's a modern classic. Sure, it was a box office failure, but it's a cult classic. And yeah, so Tarantino, give us My Bloody Valentine 2. It's up your alley. Hell, give us Death Proof 2. Have Stuntman Bob come back. And of course, later in the year, 2009, we got Inglourious Bastards. I don't know much about that either, but it was well received, highly acclaimed. Mike Myers has a cameo in it after his box office disaster, The Love Guru. We got Django Unchained. A few years later, we got The Hateful Eight that had Kurt Russell in it again. And just recently, we got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Leo DiCaprio was in that. And again, it was a good film. It was based on the Sharon Tate murders with Charlie Manson and a few other things. It was bloody. It was fun. Some people thought it was a bit too long. But, yeah, so, boy. Well, I'm out of order. But, again, what a ride. Tarantino is bloody good. So, yeah, I'll scare you later. Watch out for those gremlins. Hey folks, welcome to Top Choice 4. Now, things are just getting better and better with this series. I am so happy, and again, it's an honor to be talking about one of my favorite directors. Now, some people think True Romance is Quentin Tarantino's first film. No, he only wrote the script. Hello, little man. I served with your father, and, well, I've heard a lot of things about you. This watch, your daddy was wearing it when he was shot down over Hanoi. He was captured and put in a Vietnamese prison camp. And he knew that if they found it, they confiscate it, so... your father, he knew this watch was your birthright, and he would be damned if they got their hands on it. He had to hide it, and the only place he could hide it was his ass. 5 long years he wore this uncomfortable thing up his ass, and he died of dysentery. And he gave me the watch, and I wore this uncomfortable piece of metal up my ass for 2 years, and 7 years later, when I was sent home to my family, well, little man, I give the watch to you. You know how great a film is when it's got a special box, and well, there it is. The famous shot. It was influenced by some classic magazines, and it was redone in other magazines. It's been parodied, and I don't know much about this film. It's still got Tarantino's grainy, independent filmmaking style. It's got some other big stars. Robert De Niro is in this, and yeah, Jackie Brown. Came out in 97. It's, well, going by the back here, it's a knockout, one of the year's best films. Samuel L. Jackson, again, his perfection. Robert De Niro performance is finally calibrated, slow burn. You got Bridget Fonda in there. And yeah, so it's based on a novel as far as I know, but as I said, I don't know too much about this film. But it is a classic. You got the big three Tarantino films. You've got the big three of the 90s, because he kicked ass in the 90s. Bloody kicked ass in the 90s. Oh. So that's the Tarantino trilogy. Why am I Mr. Pink? You look like a bitch. Gave him the money to fund Reservoir Dogs. Now, I've heard Wolfie howling. This is one of his favorite films, and it's a good film. It's a gangster flick. It's got some comedy. It's got drama, lots of blood, swearing, some racial slurs here and there, and this put Tarantino on the map. It's got a great soundtrack, as all these films do. Really good music. It's quotable. The ear scene has been referenced in films. The Simpsons did it. And just so much. And when you see people doing that came from this film. The smallest violin in the world. Playing for, well, in the film it's for the waitresses, but people do that, it's playing for them. Great cast: Michael Madsen, Tim Roth, who's a Tarantino regular, Steve Buscemi, and just, yeah, really. his big time achievement. Pulp Fiction, very quotable. Again, Simpsons did a whole episode on this. Um, Bigger budget, bigger casts, a comeback for John Travolta. You got Samuel Mother effing Jackson. You got Bruce Willis, Uma Thurman. And what else can be said about Pulp Fiction? It's got that iconic intro song, which the Black Eyed Peas ripped off for one of their songs. It's seen. What?
Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you. Say what again?